Awesome. I will ping you when you got about 2 minutes left, but you've got about 8 to 9 minutes. Oh, see, sorry about that. 8 to 9 minutes. And then I will let you know when it's time to wrap.
Sounds
So
good.
Heather
Thank you.
is Finn. Finn, this is Heather. She writes for Pink Ninja blog. And you guys can get started.
Hi, Finn. I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm great. As you said, my name is Heather. I write for Pink Ninja blog and I am based in Ohio. I've hopefully lots of questions for you. My first question is, I can't even imagine having this type of experience. So what was it like when you first initially found out that you got the part of Ryder?
Well, I was eating lunch at school and I had done like three or I think four auditions up till this point. So my dad texted me and he said, "Come outside right now." And I was really confused. I was a bit worried. So I got outside and I got in the car and then both of my parents were in the front seat and my mom turned to me and she said, "Hello, Ryder." And I thought, "Oh, I'm Ryder." It was so crazy.
That's amazing. So when you were doing voiceovers, can you share a little bit of the experience of what it's like? I can't imagine just being in this room and just talking. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was weird. This is the first ever animated movie I've done, so it was a completely different experience. There are lots of things you don't realize, like because they can only hear your voice, you have to end up being a lot more animated. So that's something I had to really work on, which is just much different than live action, like on set stuff. But the director and writer Bob and Cal, they were really great. They helped guide me throughout the whole process.
So can you share any interesting behind the scenes things that happened while you were recording or any anecdotes about when your time there?
Well, I think something cool was I was going in blind for everything up until my last recording session where I finally saw some of the animation. And it was really neat to finally see my voice in this bare bones like animation. It was a couple scenes, but it's like all this work that I had done is finally leading up to me actually playing Ryder. So it finally felt real that I was Ryder.
Right, right. So the movie really looks at teamwork and friendships. So since this is you playing a cartoon character, how are you able to convey those messages or those themes?
Well, I think Sky's a big part of this one for conveying that message. No pup's too small. They really focus on that in this movie. Sky's the smallest pup on the team, but she still makes one of the probably the biggest difference in the whole movie.
Mhm.
It shows that no matter your size, where you're from, or any of that stuff, you can still make a big difference.
Absolutely. So what did you find to be the most enjoyable part of going through, like bringing Ryder to life through your voice in the movie?
Well, I really liked there's one scene that was a lot of fun where the pup tower gets destroyed where I have to yell and scream and all that stuff. It's completely different because I'm in like a room like you wouldn't think you should scream and all that stuff. It felt completely abnormal to do all
Like you're
this.
breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
So was there a specific scene in the movie? I don't want you to give away any spoilers or anything. So if you can try not to, that were there any scenes or particular moments that you found more challenging or more importantly, more memorable as you were doing the recording?
Well, something I found strange that I never thought about was the efforts, which are like you have to like grunt if you're like jumping over something, see, or like just little laughs. And you'd think those would be pretty easy, but like trying to do a forced laugh for me is really difficult. So it was pretty funny.
So Paw Patrol really it appeals to adults and kids alike. So how are you able or did you do something special to try to create a performance that would appeal to both, or was there something you tried to do differently? I know you've been in like movies and this is your first time in a cartoon type feature, but was there anything specific that you did?
I think just because it's animated, you have to be a lot more animated with your voice. I There's a lot more emotion than you think. Like I went in thinking I Ryder was like a one note character type thing, but it's actually you have to show a lot of emotion, especially in the movies. There's a lot of range in his character and in his lines
Yes.
throughout the whole movie.
Yes. So if there is one message that you really hope that the audience takes away from the movie, what would that be?
I think no matter your size, no matter where you're from, no matter any of that stuff, you can always make a difference. Like no pup's too small.
So Paw Patrol has a major global following. It's everywhere. Did that change your approach to how you did your performance?
I think when I had watched the show, when I got the part, I went in thinking Ryder was a bit different than it turned out to be. Just because I'm not sure. It's a lot more. The character's a lot different than you think going in, or at least I did. I thought, like I said, he was a one-note character and all that stuff, but there's quite a range, and I think that's why it appeals to people worldwide.
Right. Paw Patrol is really known for its positive messages. Was there anything that you did we talked about the additional animation and how you'd grunt or like smiling big. Is there anything that you did to make sure that the values or those lessons came across in Ryder's voice?
Well, I think I really had to be super sincere with a lot of my lines. It was strange going from like yelling and orders and all that stuff in the lines to doing these really sincere lines when I'm like talking to Sky because she thinks she's too small and she thinks she's not good enough. Yeah, I think that's probably it.
So Ryder is an absolute amazing character, but if you could be one of the pups in the movie, who would it be and why?
Well, I'd really like to be Chase because he has super speed. I just think it'd be really awesome to have super speed, like in the sports I play in hockey and baseball and all those. It'd be really neat.
Now, I know that Ryder has more of a kind of like a mentor relationship with the pups, but he also has a friendship with them. Did you have to do anything to change up how you perform for that?
Um, I don't think so. Not necessarily. I mean, there are little things like where you have to be, well, because they almost treat them like Ryder almost treats the dogs like they're his little siblings or stuff like that. So you have to be a lot more gentle when you're talking to Sky or any of the dogs that are going through a rough time.
Okay. And kind of to wrap things up, if you personally had a specific message that you would like to leave us with, I like to try to end it with a quote or just a message to leave everybody with.
Well, I just think no job's too big, no pup's too small really is a good example. Like no matter your size, no matter where you're from, no matter who you are, you can always make a big difference in the world. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a lot more. I mean, I have a lot of questions about just the inflection of your voice or smiling big. But that really, the movie was fantastic. My kids loved it. I have a teenager and I also have smaller kids. Our family loved the movie. I just want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.